discussion, the focus on visa options and also the visa requirements for dependents. Okay, so now let's have a look at MRES. Why do we have these MRES programs now? Or why are we having a discussion about people coming to the UK on MRES programs? Okay, so this is what happened. At the 11th hour of last year, the UK government said that anyone who wants to come to the UK on the study route and wants to come with a family cannot come with a family. Why? So this is what they said. If you want to come to the UK and you want to come with your family, and it is not a PhD program that you want to study or any of the research programs, you cannot come with your family, which means that if you are going for an MA, MSc, bachelor's, diploma, graduate diploma, certificate, you cannot go with your dependents. That was on or after 1st January 2024. So all of us who wish to study in the UK with our family, if we are not going for a PhD or an MRes or Master of Research degree, then we cannot go with our family members. Okay, now who can we bring as our dependents? If you're undertaking a PhD or doctoral qualification, then you can come with your dependents. Now, who are these dependents? So in this conversation, we are first going to look at who our dependents are. Then again, we also look at what an MRes program is. After that too, we look at the financial requirements for our dependent visa. Then we also look at the documents that are required for our dependents in order for them to apply for their visa. Now, when the UKVI or the Home Office issued this communique, they said research-based higher degree means a postgraduate program comprising a research component, including a requirement to produce original work that is larger than any accompanying taught component when measured by student effort. This means that if you want to come to the UK with your family, it should be a research-based higher degree. That is where the MRes falls under. All right. So now let's look at what an MRes is. An MRes is different to other types of master's degrees, primarily due to a greater focus on research and independent learning, which subsequently allows you to complete your degree with flexibility. Now, let's have a look at some of the important or benefits that if you study an MRes degree or program, you get. So the first thing is that if you study or if you're going for an MRes degree, it helps you to have a taste of a doctoral study like PhD. Also, it provides a logical step to this doctoral study, or it helps you or serves as a stepping stone to a research career. Another thing too is that you become more independent to study and also allows you to create your own learning experience. If you're also going for an MRes degree, it has a versatile and flexible content delivery to suit you as a learner too. Another thing too is that it helps you to become a specialist or not a generalist in your field. An MRes degree too helps you develop vocationally valuable skills and also gain research training. As an MRes student too, it helps you for you to know that your work is actually embedded too in your research center. So most of the times you qualify for paid internships and summer internships too as an MRes degree holder or as an MRes degree student. Now, if you go to the UK to study as an MRes student, what's going to be a typical day in your life? Now, what happens is that as a student, one day you might be developing your research, okay, proposal. Then another thing too is that you'll be in a session scrutinizing the world of digital scholarship, okay? Then most of the times, because it is based on research, you'll be followed by many days that you'll be collecting data in one of your specialties or in any of the laboratories, collaborating with your supervisors and then your professors in order for you to come up with a genuine research. Let's have a look too at some of the benefits of studying or doing MRes programs too. Now, as an MRes degree holder or as a student, these are some of the reasons why it is important for you to go in for MRes. One, if you have passion for lifelong learning, it means that as an MRes student or these MRes programs help provide you with a skill set that will help you improve your ability to learn as a student. Another thing too is that MRes helps you to improve your skill set. So once you pick a new skill that you like to study, this helps you to enhance your employability and also provide you with the edge over competition. Because you all know that currently the job market is actually saturated, all right? But then if you have an MRes degree, it helps you to position you very, very well that it puts you on that edge over for your competition. And then most of the times too, it helps with salary predictions. And if you're going for MRes too, it increases your network, which will help further exciting opportunities to you in the future. Now, who can also take an MRes? Once or the basic requirement for someone to apply to an MRes degree is first degree. So once you have your first degree, then you can apply to an MRes program. Now, let's have a look at some of the application timelines for MRes programs. Because MRes actually deals with research and specialty, most schools open the application for fall semester. That is September intake. So if you are planning to study an MRes degree or program, unfortunately, we cannot apply now since most of them, they've closed their application portals. That's why we are having this webinar today, so that you get to know what you need, the requirements, then you can prepare well so that you can apply for September 2025 because most of the schools have closed the application. All right. Now, since you've been the main applicant, you are done with your application and then you are in there in the UK and you want your family or your dependents to join you. Let's have a look at who can join you as your dependent, the document required for them to join you, and then the financial requirements too. Also, if your dependents join you in the UK, can they also study or work in the UK too? All right, so first, let's have a look at those who can join you as your dependent. Now, these are the people that you can come to the UK with. One, your spouse. Also, your civil partner. And if you have any unmarried partner too, you can come to the UK with that person, provided that you have been in a durable relationship for at least 2 years before the date of the visa application. Then you can come into the UK with that person and your children too. Now, when it comes to your children, you should make sure that the person is under 18 years old. If the person is more than 18 years, then the person does not qualify as your dependent. And another thing too is that your child or that person too might already hold permission to live in the UK as your dependent child. Then that person too can come. Now, other people in your family, like your parents, your siblings, your uncle, your nephews, all these people cannot come to the UK as your dependents. So if you want to come to the UK with your dependents, you should also have a look at this criteria that if this person falls in that, then if they don't fall in that, then you should know that that person too cannot come to the UK as your dependents, all right? Now, someone too might ask, so if my dependents come to the UK, can they also work and study in the UK while they are there? Yes. Now, once your dependent is over age 16 years old, okay, they will be able to work full time when they come to the UK. And another thing too is that with your dependent, they are permitted to work any type of work that they wish that they would like to do, okay? But then they should make sure that that work is not one professional sports person, which includes someone who is a sports coach. So if your dependent is a sports coach here, let's say if your wife or your child is a sports coach in Ghana, they cannot go to the UK and work as sports coach there. And another thing too is that if their permission as a partner was decided before 5th October 2022 or 2020, then they can also work, okay, as a doctor or dentist. But then if it was, so all of us will be applying for dependent visa within 2024. They cannot work as dentists or doctors in the UK when they get there, all right? They'd have to go through the right procedures before they can work as doctors or dentists in the UK. Now, if your dependents also come to the UK and they want to study, as for that one, there is no restriction. So your wife or your spouse or your children, they can all study once they get into the UK as dependents. And with you coming to the UK as a dependent too, you might ask yourself that, what are some of the conditions on this dependent visa? So the condition is that once your dependents come into the UK, they do not have any access to public funds. Now, this is what it means. They cannot claim any social benefits from the states, such as unemployment benefits or housing benefits. So when they come to the UK, they cannot say that because they've not gotten any job yet, they can go and claim any of the unemployment benefits in the UK. No, they do not qualify for anything as such. Now, let's have a look at how or what some of the application process looks like.
Please, we can't be heard.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? All right. So you might also ask yourself when your dependents should apply. You should always make sure that your dependents apply for a visa either at the same time that you are applying for your visa. Okay. And if your dependents are outside the UK too, they can apply up to 6 months before you, as the main applicant, your program start date, right? And if you're also making any application to extend or switch your student visa in the UK, your dependents must apply either at the same time as you, or they wait until your new leave has been granted. Then they can also apply for their visa. And they must also make sure that they apply before their current visa expires. And there are some people who cannot apply for the visa when they're in the UK. So let's say your dependent, your wife or your child visited the UK as a standard visitor or is a short-term student. That person is a parent or a child of a student, a seasonal worker, a domestic worker in a private household, or that person is on leave outside of the immigration rules. Then that person would have to come back to his or her home country before they can apply for that visa. They cannot apply for the visa while they are in the UK. Now let's have a look at the documents that are required for the dependent visa application. So one, they need a valid passport, and also they need their biometric residence permits. Another thing that they need to is the confirmation of acceptance for students or for studies. So with this one, it will come from the main applicant because you're the one going to study. So in order for them to apply for the dependent visa, they need your car's details for them to also help fill their visa application. And the next thing is that they need the evidence of relationship. So if they're saying that they're your wife or your spouse or your child, there should be any evidence that shows that, yes, you are the person's child, you are the person's spouse. So this is some of the evidence that they need. One, evidence of living together, and also shared responsibility for children and shared responsibility for finances. So if you have these, then you are qualified to apply for this visa. Then another thing too that they need or you need is your tuberculosis testing. Then sponsor consent. And the last one is the financial requirements. So let's delve into these financial requirements. Most of the MRES programs, or the duration for most of the MRES programs, is 1 year, or most of the times 9 months. And if you wish to join your main applicant who is a student in the UK, you as a dependent, you should make sure that you have £680 for each month. And because your visa will be valid up to 9 months or 1 year, you should have at least a maximum of 6,120. And with this £6,120 that you have in your account, you should make sure that it stays in the account for at least 28 consecutive days. So with this 6,120, that is for only the wife. And if you have 2 children, each child should also have 6,120. So you calculate these, then you put them together, okay, for the family. So £6,120 is per head, not for the whole family. And you should also make sure that if your main applicant received any official financial sponsorship, you can use that to apply for your visa, but you should make sure that that financial sponsorship covers the person's dependents. So if it does not cover the person's dependents, then you cannot use that sponsorship to apply for your visa. So if your spouse is in the UK studying on a scholarship, you should ask him or her whether the scholarship caters for his or her dependents. If it does not, then there is the need for you to prove that you have £6,120 in your account. If you don't have that, then you cannot apply for the visa. Now, one good thing about this is that here at Dreamsbridge, if you want to study in the UK, we assist with bank statements. So you can walk into any of our offices in Accra and Kumasi, then you can have a conversation with that or about that, okay? Now, these are the documents that you need for the visa application as a dependent. So that is it. And you should make sure that you can walk into any of our offices in Kumasi and Accra if you have any question. And also you can call any of our numbers, or you can also send us a WhatsApp on 024 544 4499 or 024 6000 170. Our experts are on standby that they will answer any of the questions that you have. And also, if you have any questions, you can send us a DM on any of our social media platforms. Dreams Bridge, follow us, like our pages, share, and then subscribe so that others too can have access to that. So now this is a question and answer section. If you have any question, you can ask. You can unmute your microphone and then ask. And I've also seen that we have some questions in the comment section, so we can go through them one after the other. Okay, so Embry, yeah, it's asking who qualifies to do the course that I mentioned. All right. So when it comes to the MRES programs, okay, they have some measure areas that someone can qualify, or some measure areas under these that they have the MRES programs. So one is health, then they also have sports, and some too qualify to study MRES under tourism, okay? And there are some of the programs too under humanities. So it's most of the times too depends on the program that you studied during your undergraduate, okay? So for your undergraduate program, then that's one will let us know whether you qualify to study any of the MRES programs or not, all right? Yes, any other?
Hello, please. I was late, so I didn't get to know about maybe the first part, the earlier part. I want to ask, does it mean that there are no undergraduate programs in all those programs you know?
Unmute. Okay, hello. Kindly repeat the question.
What I want to know is that I didn't hear the list of the schools that you mentioned. Okay, so I wanted to find out if there are undergraduate programs amongst them.
No, so this is a Master of Research. Okay, so it's only master's program. It's a master's degree. Okay. Yes, so iPhone says, can you clarify the name of the program? Yes, it's MRES, Master of Research, MRES. Okay, so hello, do you have any question? Okay, so Embry is also asking, now you should have a degree, okay? You should have a degree. And another thing too with this one is that whether you need a supervisor or not mostly depends on the school. Now, the good thing with Dreams Bridge currently is with our partner schools, what they require is that you provide a research proposal, okay? Not less than 2,000 words. So once you're able to provide this research proposal, then you don't need to get a supervisor before you can apply to any of these programs. And someone who's asking of the cost for attending. Now, most of the times, the costs, okay, depends on the program. So you should be looking at between £10,000 to £25,000, okay? Exactly after the program, you can apply for the postgraduate work permits, okay? You can apply after your program. And you qualify for 2 years postgraduate work permit. Yes, Imri, your hand is up. Can you unmute your microphone and speak?
Okay, so good afternoon once again, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Now, I would want to know that with regards to the financial issue, do you have to make a deposit to the school and then subsequently you pay the rest in 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 a bit, or the payment has to be in a full, it has to be in full? All right, thanks.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the question. Okay, so with the tuition, all right, it depends on the school too. There are some of the schools that they have, they will give you, I think, £4,000, okay, as initial deposit. So you pay £4,000. Then they will give you the chance for you to pay in installments. Okay, so some of them provide 4 installment plan, some 2, 5, some 6, some 2. Okay, so it depends on the program and then the institution with which you'll be studying. That will let us know how much you're supposed to pay for your initial deposit and then whether they have installments planned for you too. Yes, any other question?
Okay, so I don't know if I'm on. So apart from the health related courses that someone is having a degree in midwifery from Ghana, is there any other course that someone with history background can do? Like, is there a way that you can recommend a particular course for her that will be under the matter of research,
Research.
which
Yeah.
is gonna bring the wife along?
Okay, yeah. So I mentioned that apart from the health sector, we also have programs under humanities. Okay, we even have educational research, we have historical research, we have publishing studies. All these fall under the MRES. So if you fall in under any of these categories, you can also apply for that. Okay.
That's fine. And please, how much do you charge for your services?
Okay, yes. So you can take the numbers on the screen. Okay, good, and contact us. We'll give you all the details. All right.
Okay, that's fine.
If you
And
must,
okay, so is there is it possible that the person can get admission this year or this year close, or what is the nearest admission date or year? And I don't know if you understand my point.
okay. So if you want to study in the UK this year, all right, you see, the measure intake is fall semester. That is September. And currently, we are the 11th hour of July. Okay, I think today is 30th, right? And next month is August, then September. So the probability of you getting to the UK is very, very low, like close to you not being able to get to the UK, all right? And I also mentioned that with these MRES programs, they most of the times look or they take in students for the measure intake, that is fall. So if you want to study any of these MRES programs, then you should be looking at September 2025. So you have from now till September 2025 to prepare, okay? Come up with any research proposal, draft it, then we can start your application for you for September 2025.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, any other question?
Okay, so since no one is in, I want to ask this that is there also a way of scholarship opportunity? And because I was actually late, I don't know if you made mention of that. And then also the fees for the year, or is how many years? You know, is it a year program? Is it 2 years program? And how much is the fees?
Yes, yes, yes. So I mentioned that one too, that with Emirates, mostly it's just a year. All right. It's just a year. But then you happen to get 2 years Emirates program if you're going for part-time. All right. But then if it's full-time, then 1 year. Okay. And with the tuition fees too, it ranges, okay, and it differs per the program and then with the institution with which you'll be studying. So you should be looking at 10,000 to 25,000 pounds, all right, for tuition. So you're paying anything within that range, all right. And with the scholarship too, sometimes it depends on the institution, okay. So we cannot sit here and then now tell you that, yes, automatically you qualify for a scholarship. Okay, but then it depends on the institution. So we have a yardstick that we can look at whether you qualify for the scholarship or not.
Okay, so maybe this could be my last question. I'm sorry anyway, but this could be my last question.
No problem, you can
Um,
ask.
so should someone have a degree in nursing from
Mhm.
Ghana when she comes here to study the is it MNS or whatever course? Is it possible that the person will be automatically working as a nurse in the UK? Like, is the person going to get his or her PIN to work in the UK, or the person will still go back to write this IELTS stuff? And I
Is
don't
the
know if
nurse
you get my
coming
point.
as a dependent?
She will actually be the main applicant anyway. I think the main student
The nurse
and
is the main
vice
applicant.
versa. Vice versa. Anyway, yeah, yeah,
Okay, so the nurse is the main applicant
yes,
coming to the
yes,
UK to study, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, so the nurse is coming to the UK to study and not work as a nurse. So the nurse is on a student visa, and as a student, you can work for only 20 hours per week.
Yeah, I know, but I was saying that after the course, after the 1 year course, is it
Mhm.
or she will be actually doing a different course not related to the field, as in nursing, it to be will the course be a nursing course or it will be a health related course? I don't know if you get my point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it can actually be nursing or any other health related, provided she qualifies to study that program.
Okay, okay, I've got you.
Yes. Okay. Please, can I be a sponsor to a lady as a dependent? And also, can Dreams Bridge get me a day who is a lady who is ready to sponsor her as a dependent? Okay. So you want to sponsor someone as a dependent, which means that you are the main applicant, right? Right. So if you're the main applicant and you want to sponsor someone as a dependent, yeah, you can. But currently with Dreams Bridge, we don't have anyone that you can go to the UK with as a dependent. Okay. Okay. So do you have to write an IELTS to qualify? Yes, with most of the MRS programs, you need IELTS. And it should not be less than 6.5. So it should be 6.5 and above. Yeah, it should be UKVI academic. If you have PTE too, you can apply. If you have PTE, you can apply.
Okay, so please can you repeat the qualifications again? I know that if you have the first degree, you be true, but apart from the first degree, what
Mm-hmm.
you know other documents would you need? And the research proposal to, is it possible that you can help someone to choose a, a research proposal, or the person will be compelled to use that same research he or she did at the under the first degree to to continue with this or 1 year course.
Okay. That's fine. So first, let's look at the documents. All right. Now, you've even mentioned most of them. So you need your statement of purpose or statement of intent. All right. Your passport picture, your curriculum vitae or CV. All right. Then you also need your transcripts, undergraduate degree certificates. All right. And the research proposal. So when it comes to the research proposal, we cannot write it for you. These are the reasons. One, once you apply with that research proposal, okay, because you don't have to look for your supervisor before you apply, you are going to get the admission based on the research proposal you submitted. And so a supervisor will be allocated for you. Now, if I should write the research proposal for you, maybe you want to go and study any of the educational research programs under that, all right? And I wrote a research proposal for you. Then you admitted, a supervisor has been allocated to you, all right? Then you now want to change it because you have no idea about what was written for you. You see that it's going to be a disaster, okay? So we always advise that sit down, think through, come up with anything that you'd like to research, okay? And you should make sure that with that thing that you research, your research is going to be original. Do you get it? You don't go in for any grandfather. So it should be something original. Like, now, one thing that will help you understand MRES is that you see here in Ghana, we have MA and we have MPhil, all right? So MRS is like our MPhil here in Ghana. Now you see, if you're going for MPhil, most people don't like MPhil because they say that MPhil is difficult, like going for a PhD, just that MPhil is 2 years, okay? The same thing too with the MRS. So you will be doing rigorous research. So you should be able to come up with a research proposal, your methodology, and all these things in order for you to get admission to study the MRS program in the UK. Is understood?
Yes, sir. Yes. I do understand it. I do understand. So in other way, I was also trying to say that is the person compelled to use the first research that he or she did at the undergrad, or he can change it to probably choose a different research? Is it possible?
Yes. So in that one too, it depends. All right. Now let's look at these scenarios. Let's say that the person is a nurse, all right, and during the undergraduate days, the person embarked on any research, all right, and the person still wants to further research on that, so build on that research that the person did during the undergraduate degree days, or for the thesis that the person presented for the undergraduate certificate, then why not? You can do that, all right? But then if it's not anything original, yeah, you can come up with a different research area, all right?
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much. And please, can you let us know that is it possible some of the UK schools opens at in January or February, because 2025 fall will be very far for many people, because I have a lot of people back in Ghana that they really want to come over here, who has been disturbing a lot. So I would after this meeting, I will direct all of them to you. But is it possible that it could be earlier than September, especially when this CD pounds issue has been very tough?
Yeah. Okay. So with the intake, right? I mentioned that one too, that most of the MREs, they're going for the major intake, that is 4. So if I should tell you that you get to the UK in January for any of the MRS programs, the probability is very, very low, all right? The probability of you coming to the UK in January on an MRS program is very, very low. But then if you're looking at September, yes, then you get in.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
All right, thank you. Yeah, is any other question? Yeah, so for diploma holders, yeah, we can look at graduate diploma or first degree. Yes, and in some instances too, you can get into a master's program in the UK, but then not MRes, so an MA, MSc, yeah, you can. But in some cases, if you're a diploma holder and you have a very good experience, okay, the institution can admit you, but the probability too is very low, all right? So you should be looking at graduate diploma and bachelor's degree, okay? Okay. So with this one, you can call the numbers on the screen, all right? Then you have this conversation with you, all right? Okay, yes, any other question? All right, so if there is no question, then all I can say, or all we here at Dreamsbridge can say is thank you. Now, thank you for joining us. Thank you for staying on the call, staying in the meeting. Okay, thank you for all the questions. We also be looking out, we also be expecting your calls, your messages, and then all the questions that you have for us, all right? So you'll have a nice day. Good job.